Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of the Level 3 webinar on digital transformation for museums. So I hope you are all well and in the comfort of your homes to listen to our interesting topic today. We would like to welcome the team of Miss Evert Miranda, Christina Berena, and Joseph Mark Santiago, who are both part of the NMI Solutions team, who will talk about digital transformation of museums using the social media platform. So we'll have that shortly. And then we also would like to invite you to the newly launched museum website of Museo Cordillera by logging into Museo Cordillera .upbagyo.edu.ph, and then we will discuss probably later how the process to go about this digital platform. So we will have our resource persons, and then we will have a Q&A after, and then we'll have a view of the Museo Cordillera website. Okay, so let's welcome Christina and Joseph. Good morning, Christina, and good morning, Joseph.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Morning.
Okay, take away, Christina. Thank you very much for spending your time this morning with us. All right.
Thanks, Anna. Please allow me to share my screen. Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you? Sorry, I cannot see everyone, but hoping you could see my screen. Is my screen available to all? Hello? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
All right. So good morning. Thanks, Miss Annalyn, for the introduction. My name is Christina, and I'm a digital and communication strategist. I am part of Evert's team. Along with me is Joe.
Yes, I am Joe Santiago. I am a content creator and community manager, also a part of Miss Everett's team. I do content for clients like SM Cares and the SM Supermodes newsletter. So hi guys.
All right. Thanks, Joe. So to start off, the discussion or the webinar will be about digital transformations for museums, specifically using social media as a platform. So with the response of the survey, we got 81% have social media present versus 19%. So this is glad to hear that many of you are present in social media. Just to share with you, Filipinos spend an average of 4 hours and 15 minutes each day on social media, topping the global usage rankings for the 6th straight year. So imagine we Filipinos, that's the average 4 hours per day. So to start off, maybe let's ask ourselves, what is social media? Okay, most of the time we would search on Wikipedia first for social media. It is defined there as an interactive technology that allows the creation of sharing and exchange of information, ideas, careers, and interests, and other forms via virtual communities and networks. Simply put, these are tools which allow people to talk, chat, or share content with anyone via the internet and devices. Today, it can be a combination of all possible communications. So the meaning of social media has eventually evolved, but maybe we can start off in 1988 with MIRC. Maybe I can see a raise of hands through Zoom who tried MIRC. So this is like a relay chat with code names and all. And then in 1966, there's this multi-layer messaging, a multi-layer player games, and emoticons. In 2001, there's Wikipedia. 2002, Friendster. And then in 2004, there's Facebook. Also, we also had photo sharing by 2004 through Flickr. YouTube was created in 2005, where it first organized video streaming and video sharing platform. 2006 came Twitter, Tumblr in 27, and WhatsApp in 2009, WeChat in 2011, and then Viber in 2012. Became a cross-platform voice over IP and instant messaging. Then there came Tinder in 2012, Telegram in 2013, TikTok in 2016. So all this social media platforms evolve from one way to another. So we've looked into the market, which is in the Philippines, and the social media population, imagine, in the country is 110.3 million. And an average social media users, it's at 89 million. So that huge. So active social media users, it is 21.9%. And versus last year, January, nag-add tayo ng 16 million. Maybe because of the pandemic, wala masyadong ginagawa. So umakyat yung social media usage natin. For January, from January 2020 to January 2021. Okay, share with you also leading social media platforms in the country as of quarter one. So Facebook is leading with 83 million Filipinos using it. Then there's YouTube at 54.2, Instagram at 15 million, and Twitter at 7.85 million. So it's Facebook and YouTube on top. So let's start with Facebook. Facebook is not only the world's largest social network, but it is the most developed channel. So we have the organic posts and then the paid social marketing. Also, initially, Facebook was used to keep up with family, friends, and news using various forms of shared content. However, there are brands who maintain presence on the platform, might use organic content or brand awareness, relationship nurturing through social customer service. Also, marketers tapped Facebook user data to reach new customers with relevant advertising. And now, recently, Facebook is also prioritizing e-commerce shopping via Facebook shops. So we can see how Facebook already evolved from the starting year until this 2021. Also, there's Facebook Watch, the social giant's 2-year-old video streaming platform. So, parang similar na rin siya kay YouTube. It became a massive destination, now attractive over 1.25 billion users each month to company claims. All right. Moving on to Instagram, please allow me to share with you that there are, as mentioned, 15 million users, and then majority of which are female at 64.7%. Instagram potential advertising audience, it's at 18.3%. Next is Twitter. Twitter is at 7.85 million users. Still female, dominantly gumagamit ng Twitter at 76.2%. And we have 9.6% as potential advertising audience for Twitter. So we ask ourselves how to create a social media page that gets likes. Usually when we post, parang yun yung consciously or unconsciously, yun yung at the back of our head if it's gonna be liked by somebody else. So share with you tips. So you're creating a content for your target personas. We have to start in checking or knowing who our target markets are. So what personas are you targeting? How easy it is for them to consume your content? So ask yourself, what can you do consistently for this market? And can you meet quality expectations for this market? So there are actually five different personas in the social media community. One is the apathetic. So they're not actually interested in anything, just swipes up and just checking in his social wall for nothing in particular. Um, there's also the self-actualizing persona in the social media arena. They know exactly what they're looking for. So are they looking for a cake for their mother's birthday? Are they looking for a specific brand of activewear? So alam na nila kung saan sila dediretso when they're inside Facebook or Instagram. We also have the relator. The relator, they are concerned about how people are concerned about other people's opinion and decisions. And then the driver, these are the ones direct, concise, and impatient. And lastly, the socialized, they are outgoing, extroverted, achievement oriented. So it also reflects on their post. So when we know the different personas, we actually would know what would trigger them for them to like our post. So there's reciprocity, giving something valuable to them to compel them to give something in return. For example, we let them like a page, and in return, we give them free coupons, maybe discounts, and all. So for curiosity, there's a powerful motivator in creating an itch that needs to be scratched. So people gets curious. So eventually they look into your Instagram stories or Facebook stories. So what actually works here would be teasers and all. Next is fear. Powerful motivator. This is a powerful motivator. Fear is used everywhere to promote action. When you've heard about FOMO or FOMO, that's fear of missing out. There are actually certain types of people na they fear na they don't know the latest restaurant, they don't know the latest movie and all. So they tend to check as much as they can on social media para ano sila, updated. So there's a certain fear. Next would be credibility. Give good reasons to follow you or to subscribe to you. So we do this often or we hear this often than sa mga YouTube influencers, and they do that. They try to uh, influence people by telling them they what they're capable of. Like for example, there's Slater Young, knowing all this house renovation to dos and all. So because he's an engineer, so there's credibility in him. Also, there's authority. You have to state your credentials. We fill up all the fields in the about us or about me. Also, we try to validate the page. Meron siyang the blue check wherein you are recognized as the official. For example, it's official SM Supermall's page, or this is official Artistas page. For example, Ann Curtis page. You see that blue check, meaning it was verified that it's you and you're the one posting on that page. And then lastly, honesty. You're not hiding any issues or flaws, but turning it as a part of curiosity. We see this when people post that, for example, that their restaurants are down because of the pandemic, so they have to be honest, or maybe they didn't reach a certain quota, or the product was not launched as expected. So these are all the triggers and the type of content that they push for the different personas. So we all need a good content plan for these different target markets and good timing, because we believe in the equation that good content plus good timing is equal or equivalent to a good page or a good Facebook page. It's a 50-50 equation. We cannot live by just having a good content, but it was not posted on the right time. Meaning, you may be doing the latest trends, the latest type of content, pero you posted it at a downtime. So, hindi rin nakita ni market. Hindi rin siya na-like. So, hindi rin siya nagamit eventually. So, we are aiming for good content and good timing. So, we have to start creating useful, meaningful, interesting, or entertaining content that your target audience wants to read and see. Okay. My partner here, Joe, will be elaborating how we can produce good content. So, Joe, please.
Okay, I'm taking over now.
Thanks, Joe.
So when it comes to social media, you want to be able to find out first and foremost what is the best way of communicating your content, or rather, what is the most effective way. This is why we have different social media platforms. We have TikTok, we have Facebook, and we have Twitter. These are three social media platforms, but they are fundamentally different from one another. TikTok is mostly based on video. You go on the app, makikita niyo po na palagi sila nagbi-video, take ng video, whether short form or long form na 1 minute. Facebook, it's about pictures. It's a culmination of everything. Facebook, you can post videos, pictures, blogs, and so on. But it's still the same thing where it's actually a different platform on its own, that it has everything that you need. Meanwhile, Twitter is mostly two short blogs or short write-ups that you can send to your followers. So when you make a social media, when we're talking about digital transformation, what we want to do is we want to be able to find out how we can best communicate that to our audience, how we can best communicate our message to our audience, be it a blog post, video, slideshare, infographic, ebook, white paper, or whatever you're most talented with. Say you have a creative team in your museum that you want to be able to use their gifts. Let's say they're talented in making short videos. You can use that to your advantage when it comes to posting something about your museum page. So it really boils down to what Miss Tina said earlier about the perfect timing and your good content plan. Because the format in which you make your content is gonna summarize your content plan. We have this thing. We have this social media we have this social media experiment actually. Let's say mag-upload na po kayo ng profile picture niyo po, di ba? Kasi tayo po, medyo, ano naman tayo, social media savvy tayo. Sabihin natin, mag-upload tayo ng picture. 10 a.m. Okay. Kung nag-upload ka naman ng picture ng 10 a.m., magtataka ka bakit konti lang yung nagla-like? Kasi sa afternoon pala, bakit afternoon konti lang yung nagla-like? Because most people are actually busy doing their own things. Some are working, some are playing games, most of them are studying. But let's upload ng 7 p.m. This is what we call prime time. If you upload on this time, you will notice that marami mag-like because people will see it. Not only will people see it because they're mostly done with their work, makikita nyo na 7 p.m., marami kayong comments or marami kayong engagement. Actually, kahit umaga rin eh. Kasi kung ano man yung content that was left over last night, siyempre pag gising ng mga tao, unang-una na lang bubuksan yung phone nila. So, this is very important. Like Ms. Tina said, good timing plus yung good content and whatever format you want to use is actually the best way to get engagement. So, let's remember, guys, that just because you think of your format, just don't stick to one format for every piece of content you develop. Make sure it is realistic and achievable on a consistent basis. It's perhaps a good idea to apply the SMART. Are people aware of SMART? Can I get a raise of hands? Says Zoom. Okay. It's also best to apply that when it comes to thinking about your ideas. Diba? Like I said, a vlogging series might be a great marketing tactic, but if you lack the resource to maintain it, then something like a blog might be an easier way to go. So we have to be resourceful. Okay, moving on to copywriting. We have to think of copywriting as something everyone can do. Actually, copywriting is very easy. I started out as a copywriter, and I feel like anyone can do copywriting so long as you stick to these do's and don'ts. Okay? So when first of all, foremost, when we're talking about copywriting as a skill, do people know this also? Can I get a raise of hands too? Because I want to know how many people know copywriting before I get into it. Okay, so may mga alam po pala ng copywriting. It's a very useful skill kasi when it comes to advertising your brand, leading people to your product or your service. So number one, it's very easy kasi I feel like anybody can do this. We have to do attention-grabbing headlines. What I mean by that, your headline is arguably the most important part of your copy because no one will read the rest of if the headline doesn't get your attention. Think about the triggers we went through. Kapag nasa museum po, we want to be able to do something or rather say something na napaka-attention grabbing. And part of this is crafting a copy that your audience would want to hear, right? Let's talk about the Mind Museum, right? It's the Mind Museum. When you think about that, nakakapag-isip ka eh. Kasi bakit ano ba meron sa mind na kailangan gumawa ng museum? Di ba? So something along those lines when we think about attention-grabbing headlines. So the other part of the do's and don'ts is to be able to use clear and direct words. We have to avoid fluff. In many cases, you won't have enough characters to convey the full message you envision. So practicing this is important. The idiom that, it's simply best to say it simple. It's like, it's best to say it simple. It's really easy for you to just make copy and then you don't have to make it complicated. It doesn't have to be long. Actually, I encourage whenever I would do workshops, I would usually encourage my copywriters to say something or to convey their message in the most simplest form. Hindi na po kasi kailangan mahaba yan eh. We need it to be direct. But also with being direct, we need to inspire them to take action. And this is where the CTAs come in. Kasi when we want to be able to have eyes on the product, if we want people to read your copy, we want to be able to do a CTA. Okay. Baka may mga tao po kasi dyan that are not aware of what a CTA is. Can I get a raise of hands if people know what a CTA is? Again, para lang may alam po tayo kung ano. Okay, so hindi niyo po alam yung CTA. CTA is a call to action. Okay, a call to action. What is a call to action? Kapag nag-scroll po kayo sa website, di ba, may makikita kayo na sign up now. Nakaano pa yan, nakatago po yan sa isang circle. That is a CTA. A call to action. It's what Miss Evert would say. It's what Miss Tina would say whenever they would close. Okay, sign up na po tayo. It's a simple word, a simple sentence, but it drives your audience to take action. That is the most important part. That is the finisher of a good copy, a CTA. It might sound like an obvious thing. Someone sees the post, is interested, and therefore clicks or comments or shares, right? Wrong. When you have a CTA, sabihin natin, don't miss it. You have only 5 minutes, so sign up now. So parang gano'n, that's your closer. That's your number one closer. Okay. And another thing about copywriting do's and don'ts, we have to build up trust. You have to convey naman that you are reliable. If you have been around for a long time, show it. Use things that you can prove, like 4 out of 5 our customers can recommend us to your friends. So let's say you have built up this following and you've amassed good reviews, testimonials, ratings. The number one thing we want to be able to do when we have, these things already in our brand or brand renown is gamitin naman po natin to our advantage. If we have a 4 out of 5 rating, mention that in the copy. We are trusted by consumers. so on. So it's really best to build up trust, and once you've gained enough of it, to use that to your advantage. And with copywriting, another rule is don't be pompous or self-important. People don't like egos, especially in a macro scale like copywriting. When you look at the copy that you want to put out or the write-up that you want to put out, even if they themselves have a massive one. If you aren't the best, as if you haven't been voted or determined the best by any authority, don't say that you are. There are other ways you can convey the same thing. Best visited, one of the top 10 in TripAdvisor, rather than, you know, the best in the Philippines. Another, actually, when we talk about this, another thing I always tell my copywriters is, number one, we don't use superlatives. Don't say you are the best museum in the Philippines. It's best to use another word for that, or be creative, right? Maybe one of the best visited in the Philippines. We can't use the best kasi hindi naman po tayo credited by any authority like the government na tayo nga po yung the best. It's always a rule of thumb whenever it comes to copywriting to avoid superlatives and to use another way of saying it. Okay. And the next is don't use jargon or difficult words. Unless you're solely advertising to people who are experts in your industry, jargon isn't necessary. If you sell images, you wouldn't say 300 DPI images at great prices. You would say maybe something like crystal clear images at great prices. So in copywriting kasi, going back to kanina, what we said earlier about being able to convey it simply or simple, is this is also included. People would not understand if you use something like DPI. 300 DPI, nobody's gonna understand that. Crystal clear is better. So these examples are really to help your copywriting skills whenever you would write something for your museum brand, in order to be able to showcase pieces in a very simple but relevant way. So yun na nga, you wouldn't say something like crystal clear images. You would say maybe something like crystal clear images at great prices. Difficult words, don't say prepossessing when you could say beautiful. So yun. And of course, lastly, don't exaggerate. Exaggeration, when it comes to this, it's, let's say, you want to write copy, and then you say, oh, hey, it's the best burger in Manila, hands down. That's exaggerating. We want to avoid that. Of course, however, like, if you want to do copy naman, humorously, exaggeration can have a place. So whenever it comes to these do's and don'ts, there are applications to them. We want to be able to do them, but to do them right. So keep in mind of these do's and don'ts, and make sure that it's always in the right place, because copywriting, it's a very easy thing to do. Anybody can do it, but it takes these guidelines to do them. Okay, so for different executions, let's look at the content plan executions that we do. So one of the things that we do for SM Cares are static images. I think this is the most common one, right? You make a KV, a key visual, you put all the details that you need to do for your content, and so on. This is what we want to do if we want to get something out right away, or we want to do a poster. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And the next we have is a video. See, I feel like, um, one of the things we did with SM Gears was to incorporate authentic or relatable videos. It's actually Miss Tina's idea for this one, yung cycling. In the cycling, if you can see the videos right now, and the mothers, kami po yan. It's best to use videos that are relatable. This is why TikTok is, popular. It's because you see these average people, or rather normal people taking videos of themselves. And siyempre, maglalike yung mga tao kasi relatable. So one of the advice we can give to you is to, whenever you would do a video format or video content, it's better to make it personable as most at the basic level. Kasi kapag corporate po yung pinag-uusapan natin, isipin po kasi ng mga tao na iba yung dating eh. So it's better to do personal videos. And actually, when it comes to personal videos, ito yung pinaka most like namin na nagawa sa SM Cares. When it came to submitting a video format that was personable, grabe ang namin likes nakuha. So ito yung ano namin. Ito yung magibibigay po namin sa inyong advice. And then of course, the next one is GIF. Of course, you want to be able to spice things up every once in a while. You want to be able to do something that's different. Kasi when we talk about static images, it gets tiring because it's just static. But if we want to be playful, if we want to show them a different kind of execution, a GIF is the most easy way to do it. It's engaging, nakikita, gumagalaw. It's something that most brands do these days. SM Supermalls likes to do them. Ayala Malls like to do them. Mostly any brand that you can see, GIFs are also a popular format of executing on your content. And then we have a poll. So in a poll, we want to be able to, kasi you don't use a poll unless you want to engage your consumers. You want to get feedback, right? Most influencers, if you go through their stories or Facebooks or Twitters, makikita nyo po na sila rin mismo nag-i-implement nito. So they have a product, right? May produkto po sila or nagtatanong po sila, sino gusto nang makita ako na 9 p.m. This is how they engage. This is also one of the best ways to gain information from an audience. Let's say may soft opening po kayo ng museum for a new gallery or a new exhibition. The thing that we want to do, okay, yung objective po ninyo is you have a launch date at May 9 or May 11. You can simply make a poll, submit that poll on your social media platform, and then sila po sasagot niyan. This is the best way to get feedback. And you can learn more about your followers using this format. So it's something, one of the most useful things in executions that you might want to take note of. And then, of course, we have mini games. And mini games kasi, it's something that's been new. And not a lot of brands have been using this, but some of the most playful ones are. When it comes to mini games, are you guys aware of memes? MEMES, memes. Aware po ba kayo doon? Or ano po? Medyo on the older side. Okay, meron po pala tayong aware sa memes. So, see na on next slide po para makita nila yung mini games. Okay. So, eto na. For this, it's a kind of a play on memes. If you want to reward your followers, you want to engage your followers, then, of course, we have these mini games where pwede nyo po silang lagyan ng mga crossword games or word hunters or word hunting na pwede po silang maghanap kasi makikita niyo po sa mga meme pages kasi yung in the next three words I see are gonna define my whole week. So this is very popular with meme pages. If you can see the comments, marami po nila. And some brands have picked up on this, and we've picked up on this on SM Cares. We've implemented this to our content plan, and ito po ginawa po namin is that we implemented them and have our followers engage us on this level. So it's a very nifty thing to do, especially when you're trying to get their attention. So moving on, we have digital PR. Okay, so a digital PR is an online marketing strategy used by businesses to increase their online presence. It's an evolution of PR, Instead of only targeting print publications, digital focuses on online publications and brand awareness. And so simply put, you know, digital PR is publishing articles online, networking to gain backlinks, and press releases and syndicating newsworthy content, influencer marketing in affiliation with bloggers and vloggers, offline events that aim to gain online coverage. So let me define each one. So publishing articles online. Right? PR professionals work hard to create, maintain, and increase their networks of publishers. And so this is how they get attention. So when we say publishing articles online, you want to be able to get attention for your new event. So what we do in SM Cares actually, whenever we have a new advocacy or a new initiative, is we would publish an article. You know, we would do a short form announcement of it through some video execution, through some GIF execution, or some static execution. But overall, all the information that's needed, we would do a PR article to really cement what we're trying to do. And networking to gain backlinks. Instead of publishing the article on another site, the site would then link to the content piece in their own content. So let's say, you've published your article, right? Then you make several different executions, or we call this a mini campaign. And once you publish your PR article, you would then create content like a static image or a GIF that would lead back to the PR article that you just submitted. So that's basically what is to gain backlinks is. And then press releases and syndicating newsworthy content. This might not be necessarily in the form of traditional articles approaching bloggers to gain backlinks and mentions. So this is a kind of like a unconventional method where you are cycling through trending, gusto nyo mong sumabay at the perfect time. That's what we call good timing. Yun po yung meaning yan. And then the most common one is influencer marketing and affiliation with bloggers and vloggers. I think one of the worst mistakes, honestly, a good influencer marketing or endorsement goes a long way. But to do it right with an influencer that has all their credentials in check, if you can be resourceful and use other executions, I would encourage that. But if you want short term, kasi influencer marketing is only good for the short term. Long term, if you want to be able to build your brand, if you want to be able to stay resourceful, then you go with other executions. Because there are so many executions you can do in social media that you don't necessarily have to rely on traditional influencer marketing. But if the traditional influencer is perfect for your brand and ticks off all the credentials, then I would highly encourage that. But if you can be resourceful and use other executions, then you can do that too. And of course, offline events that aim to gain online coverage. So one of the things this is called is below the line BTL. So that means below the internet line. So when you do an event and you want to do coverage for them, this is the best way to get coverage. It's like you have an off-site event that you can use that to your advantage. You have a soft launch. You can use that to build up your social media. So that's offline events. And then publishing infographics are, your flyers. You guys are probably well aware of these already. In an incredibly format, public infographics, flyers, posters, so on and so on. But if we're talking about the 21st century, if we're talking about the new trends, then this also has to be included. Social media has to be included because they're also part of the new publishing infographics. So let's go to the next one. So the engagement metric measures the effectiveness of your post and how much you are connecting with your fans. That's true, because the most important thing about the Facebook, your social media platform is rather your data analytics. It's one thing to know how many likes your post and how many are engaging your post and how many are sharing your post. It's also very important to to understand what they're happening. In Facebook, engagement metrics are calculated based on the number of likes, comments, shares, and clicks your posts are generating. So, ito na po yung engagement. Yung likes, comments, shares, and clicks. But another thing you might not know is relevancy. And what do I mean by relevancy? When your post is high on engagement, pero may next post ka not as high, kailangan nyo pag-aralin bakit yung unan yung pong post, bakit high yung engagement, and then yung next post wala. So that's how you're able to convert these analytics into something that's meaningful for your brand. Data. So you know kung ano yung mga content your base rather na gusto po nila makita and gusto po nila engage. So this is very important stuff. This is why engagement is such an important metric. And you should, by all means, really find out what the data is all about. So let's go to the next slide. So we've done a market scan because it's very important that for every brand, for every museum, that you want to be able to do a market scan of your competitors, or rather, hindi naman competitors, siguro people in the same industry as you. So you can learn how they're doing, how you can do the same type of content that they do, that you can implement to your own brand to grow your social media renown. So let's go through. The first one is, of course, the National Museum of the Philippines. They are sitting at 256,644 likes. So in terms of scale, malaki na po siya. Kasi museum lang po ito eh. And they've already amassed so many followers. And the next museum is the Pinto Museum, the Pinto Art Museum. This is a museum that's really popular with the millennials. Still, not as big as the first museum, which was 200 on the 240,000s. Ito 162, 885 likes lang siya. And the next, the Mine Museum. Interesting note, this museum is the highest like museum Facebook page sa lahat ng Pilipinas. So right now they're sitting at 353,042 likes. What does this mean nga pala? If you're aware of this, likes is to, express mo na yung interest mo sa Facebook, but following is where you keep tabs. Pinag-aralan po ito ng Miss Tina na sinabi po niya na kapag pina-follow niyo po yung brand, paano niyo po siyang i-stalk kasi kapag may mga post po sila, lalabas sila sa sa Facebook page po ninyo. The next museum is the Ayala Museum. So 54,000 lang po siya, 450 likes. So it's not that huge as compared to the other museums that we've looked at. But they're doing different campaigns na nga to really promote their brand, and you can see them. He said it's gonna take a while for them to build their renown, but they're gonna get there then. The next brand is Museum Pambata. It's very impressive kasi Ayala is such a huge brand, and Museo Pambata namamatch lang po niya. So it really boils down to how your market is and how you interact with your market, and Museo Pambata is doing a good job. And the next one is, of course, yung home museum po natin. And in regards to this, tataas pa po yan. We'll do content execution right where it matters, and then no time at all, papantayan po natin yung mga ibang museum. And then when we want to go to the next museum, it's Metropolitan Museum of Manila. Nasa 30,000 likes rin po sila. They've got a long way to go, but they, in terms of other museums dito, in terms of executions, sa content po na what they're doing are interesting. And lastly, I think yan na yata yung last natin sa local. So ito na po yung sa international. These are international museums. This one is in the States, the Smithsonian. If you can see 600,000 likes, if nakita niyo pa yung sa My Museum, nasa 300,000 likes. So, half na siya na Smithsonian. And this is from the States. So, think about that. We've got the Louvre, which sits there a whopping 2,596,000 likes. It's very interesting to study because the Louvre is, of course, one of the first things you want to do, aside from visiting the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And of course, we got the Acropolis Museum at Greece. They set up, 412, 742 likes. And what's interesting with this museum is they're implementing VR or other executions, and they find this very nifty. It's because they want to be able to, because Greece is really rich in terms of cultural heritage. Being subjugated by the Persians, the Romans. There's so much stories to their philosophers like Plato, Socrates, that really the world recognizes that, arms them up or arms them with technological abilities to be able to pursue yung mga attractions po nila as well as yung mga cultural milestones nila in VR form or augmented reality. These are new executions that museums can implement. Ginagawa rin po namin yan. But yes, it's very important that museums go ahead of the curve and find new platforms to be able to discuss their uh, their attractions. Of course, yung State Hermitage sa Russia, and it sits at 75,447 likes. And they're very traditional when it comes to their museum, but one of the best museums in the world to look to see. And of course, we have the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So it has 2,016,940 likes. Messina sa next yan. So mas higher talaga yung Louvre. So the Louvre is probably the highest like museum in the world, which 2,500,000 compared to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which just sits at 2 million. So yes, so this is the reward that we all want to be able to get down the road in terms of social media, is monetization. If you can see bakit yung mga influencers online, bakit yung mga bata online, nakakapag-upload sila and then they have 2 million views, and bakit parang yung mayaman sila, bakit may mga kotse sila, bakit may mga new houses sila. Simply put, when you do social media right, and you have enough of a following to gain consistent views per basis, per video, you can monetize them. That is the number one thing. It's because advertisers, they like to go through your content and makikisabay sila. And this would enable you to get monetized. This would help you kasi babayaran ka po nila eh. Kasi the more your content is out there, the more advertisers can get in with you, and this is how you get monetized. So very traditional is yung number one, yung admission for special online events. This is the easiest way to monetize, right? For example, for this webinar, if it isn't free, you have to pay for it. So yun yung easier talaga. And then for the other one is yung introduce virtual membership level. For example, other museums offers a virtual membership level which provides an interactive, content-rich way to experience the museum remotely. And in this way, you can charge them for this, and you have levels in which may bundle packages. Let's say bundle 1 is ito lang makikita mo, bundle 2 hindi. So the other is, of course, you develop a virtual course and summer camps. And these are courses or summer camps that stretch on for weeks on end. So when we talk about these things, this is a long-term strategy in a short-form way where may 2 months allotted time ka and you really dedicate yourself trying to do this. And then, of course, ito yung monetization through museum ways. And number 4 is plan an online fundraiser or gala. So this is very, of course, we all know what a fundraiser is, where the gala is. So it's a very traditional way as well. And then another is to try a pay what you want model for digital programs. You can tailor your services or your exhibitions and pay what you want. So you can offer bundles na ito lang pwede nyo ba makita. Sort of like how a virtual membership level is. And then you can monetize special interactions with living collection staff. Some of the museums are already doing this, like Acropolis. Well, you can pay for special interaction. You can plan on your exhibit, and then pwede po siya magkaroon ng interactivity. Well, your audience can pay for that, and you can set it up. So yun po yung mga monetization in social media by museums, and of course monetization in YouTube. Next slide. So sa YouTube naman po kasi it's very important to really note this. If you have the resources to do this on a consistent basis, then I can recommend you can do this. It's because I think for every 1,000 views, you get $5, or 10,000 views, you get $5. So if you have a consistent, streaming platform in YouTube, you can actually take advantage of their monetization program, because artists that are consistent in their content and their followers really support by liking, viewing, subscribing, you can make money. You can make this as a side income to your platform. So what it takes, like we said kanina, is good timing and good content. So content creators can join the YouTube Partner Program after accumulating 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So these are the minimum amount so you can get monetized. You need to be able to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And this gives creator access to monetization features such as, like I said kanina, advertising, fund funding, and merchandise sales. Top YouTube stars make close to $20 million a year. However, trade-off dito is most make far less or nothing at all. If you can see yung mga streamers sa YouTube or yung mga content influencers sa YouTube, umabot ng 1 million likes every week yung mga yan when it comes to releasing their videos. And itatali po natin, monthly siguro they make 20K USD a month. If consistent po yung 1 million views, kaya hindi pa nga 1 million, sabihin natin 500,000 eh. So this is a great way talaga to really just earn in YouTube. And other forms to earn in YouTube included but are not limited to Google Ads, brand sponsorship, fan funding, and merchandise sales. So let's keep a track of these kasi it's very important rin to take in mind that advertisers pay based on clicks and impressions. YouTube gives the content creators 55% of this revenue and takes 45% for itself. So yun na nga, that's what we say, what we mentioned Google Ads. And another is yung brand sponsorship, of course, influencer marketing. Like I said, if the influencer is perfect for your brand, go ahead and use them. But if you can be resourceful, then try to find something else. So that's it. That's it for our talk. We'll have a Q&A in a bit. That is me. I am Joe. Thank you for hearing me out. Miss Tina?
Thanks, Joe. Miss Anna, we're ready for the Q&A.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina and Joe, for that very interesting talk. No, so we have some questions from our participants. So there's a question about what monetization. No, so most of our participants are HEIs or universities run by our government. No, can you actually monetize when you have a museum website online? Is that allowed?
Hi. Is this for Facebook or YouTube, ma'am?
Uh, for instance, yes, and then if they have an official website.
Okay. For YouTube, I don't think there's a restriction because I think YouTube is free for different industries. And it's not limited to museums as well as for Facebook. For the website, definitely, since this is your own platform, you can monetize this, but the guidelines will be created or drafted by you as well, since it will be hosted by you also or by the brand.
Okay, thank you for that. There's an anonymous attendee in the Q&A box. She said that she's an apathetic user. Ironically, this person creates content for the museum's social media. It
Mhm.
feels like it's very artificial, but any tips on how to get past that?
The being apathetic
Yeah. Yes.
user.
Yes.
All right. When your persona is an apathetic one, you do mindless scrolling. It simply means that we need to captivate you in a way that we get your interest. Specifically, if the platform is for a museum, I think we should be getting your interest in regards to content for museums, probably.
Yeah, one of the perfect answer by that, Miss Tina. If I may add, in
Yeah,
terms of
sure.
feeling artificial, kasi what I do with my content is I really inspire myself by really just looking for similar interest I have in regards to that space, to the content that you're creating. So, for SM Cares, I'm very, talaga gusto ko pumunta sa mga beach. How do I relate that to the content that I'm making?
Yeah.
Okay, the beach is a passion for me. Diving is a passion for me. In fact, my fiance and I like to go to Batangas. Doon po kami pupunta to dive. And what we would notice is yung mga beach cleanup initiatives by the Batangan citizens or Batangas citizens. And that's how I create inspiration for me to get me more interested. Is that okay? I like going to the beach, but what can I do in terms of my post? Cleanups. So that's how I feel. That's how I get through the artificial barrier that you mentioned. It's really involving your interest with the content that you're making. And in that way, you can personalize them and make something out of yourself. Hopefully naman I answered that question for you. So yeah.
Mhm. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, thank you, Christina and Joe. Okay, so most of our participants at the moment are well, they have a limited budget, no? So we go to the social media platforms to organize their presence, no? Can you give us like tips on how to do it? Kasi we have very limited budget kapag HEIs, no? So can you give just a very brief tips on how to go about it?
This is particularly for Facebook, ma'am.
Yeah, Facebook or Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. To cut the expenses, you can use your internal resources, of course, to do the copy and the photos, to take photos. We do user-generated content, meaning when we post, we ask people to take a photo and then we try to repost the photo. So, for example, Joe does this for SM Cares. For example, show your photo uh, doing recycling, for example, and then all those consolidated photos will be reused for another posting. So it's like asking your community to create the content with you as well. Um, Definitely, we will get rid of stock images and photos, then we can create our own. And then also, yeah, ambassadors or influencers are not necessary because these are actually high in cost. You can be your own ambassadors. You can start with the employees first, and then kayo like us when we started building SM Cares. SM Cares, by the way, is a CSR page of the SM group. It's also a challenging one because CSR siya eh. It's not retail na parang lahat kino-consume or madali siyang ibenta as compared, for example, na isang brand like, for example, let's say Nike or Adidas. Mas madali ibenta yun eh kaysa yung CSR. So since we're handling the page, all were organic at first because they also had limited budget in terms of boosting. So we really worked hard on the content. We post as much as we can. we post something that is relevant, that is engaging, para yung sarili nating community yung mag-spread out. So when I like the post, my friends will like the post eventually. So the question is, how will I be able to influence others to like the post? So dapat relatable siya. As mentioned by Joe earlier, there are also memes, yung mga nakakatawa. So it tend to spread out
Yeah.
faster. Yeah.
Angkas, diba? If you look at Angkas, that's what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, siguro po yun po. You can start internally first. With us, kami-kami yung unang nagla-like eh. And then our friends, since ako siguro, for example, I have like 600 friends. So, mag-spread yung engagement or yung reach. And then there. Hopefully, it will reach more people.
Thank you very much, Chris. For the case of the Mosaic Cordillera, we started with the Facebook page.
Mhm.
So what we did was, of course, we took very clear photographs to upload. That's the
Yeah.
first one. Second one are to post interesting stories like updates,
Yes.
actions of our visitors coming to the museums.
Yeah.
Of course, in terms of the content, there should be a clarity of your construction of your very catchy sentences, not very long, not too short, but just
Right.
katamtaman. Kasi we also understood that the audience or the visitors have a short attention span in doing digital, right?
Yes, yes.
So we
Correct.
did that, and then we transitioned from Facebook. We have an Instagram.
Mhm.
So medyo visual lahat. Short, catchy sentences, and then a photograph. And then we transitioned to the website, Mosaic Cordillera webpage, no?
Yes.
So that's how we move with our transition to digital.
Yeah.
That's my, the experience of Mosaic Cordillera.
Just to add, Miss Anna, I sorry, Joe. Just to add, Miss Anna, you can do cross promotion. You can promote your website to your social media pages as well.
Yeah.
So we will be able to increase traffic on the website.
Okay. Oh, very interesting. Okay, there's a follow-up question from Karen Nina Carrera. So she said, if you have a limited budget, manpower, and not so creative staff, no? So which is the best social media format for a startup museum, maybe, or others?
Siguro I'll start first and then Joe can give his opinion later. For me, it's Facebook because personally, we have our own Facebook and we know how it goes. So we're familiar. So nababawasan yung learning curve as compared when we try siguro to go to TikTok right away na hindi natin siya gano'n katagal pa
Yeah.
nagagamit. At least if we know the tool, we are able to quote-unquote exploit or use it properly, use it more often, use the features na we think is alam natin gawin since tayong gagawa. So for me, my suggestion is Facebook. How about Joe?
Yeah. So for me, I feel like in this question, Facebook talaga is the way to go. It's the most recognizable, especially if you have a limited following, you have a standard audience, then Facebook is the way to go. In terms of executions, you can focus on static images or videos. Like I said kanina, yung number one video, yung number one most generated post na ginawa namin for SM Cares is a video format in which one of our esteemed designers, si Sir Mike, siya po yung nagbabike. And then,
Yes,
babe, di ba Miss Tina, arami natin likes for that.
yes,
So it's
right.
really, di ba, it's really just making content na you can do with your resources that you can
Right.
do yourself, that you can post, and then hopefully, di ba, since it's relatable to your audience, they will like. So in terms of this, definitely the format is Facebook and the execution is static images that you can do. Now, if not so creative naman yung team ninyo, you can just do a standard poster, okay na yun. And
Yes.
then another is yung video. In fact, if you go through TikTok na, makikita nyo, some of the audience or one of the influencer marketing people do, what they do is that they record them going to these museums. And you can do the same thing. You can do a promotion for your museum the same way that they're doing. We want your audience to get interested with your exhibits. You simply just do a video that is relevant. And then makikita nila kung ano yung mga experience na to get out. Of course, you only teach them through this. You don't exactly give everything right away. But that's how you can manage to gain their attention. So definitely Facebook and those two executions to go. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just to add, yeah, I agree with Joe kasi medyo mahirap din yung paggawa ng video. I personally, parang gusto ko rin subukan gumawa ng video, but if it's not your talent, it's not. So we can start with static.
Yes.
Also, yeah, we're doing shared content. So we're doing viral videos na share, anything na feel good and all. So other content, i-share natin. Let's just put the source appropriately para hindi rin tayo ma-call out. Pero you can do that, ma'am. You can share content from others.
All right. Thank you very much for that insight. So we know that Facebook is a very useful platform, no, for startup museums.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a question from Ronald Dulay. Can you also give us tips on how to create a social media plan for an entire year?
Okay,
Is
sure.
there? Yeah.
Sige, I can start off, Joe.
Okay.
What we do, ma'am, is we usually prepare a content plan per month and we have it approved. First, we list down all activities muna per month. And then also, we list down all possible executions. And then we plot on the calendar. And then lastly pala, we check which ones are the this is based on studies, ma'am. We have to check kung ano yung best time to post, for example, sa target market natin. For example, kay SM Cares po kasi yung majority nila is medyo the mommies and yung medyo like working already. So their time, ang peak time nila would usually be sa gabi. And there's also after lunch. So dun kami usually nagpo-post. So on the calendar, we put all the dates and then we determine the best time for posting. Specifically for SM Cares, it's Wednesday and Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joel. Something like that. Wednesday or Friday.
Yes.
And then we try to populate kung ano ilalagay namin. Kunwari, every first Wednesday would be a poll. And then on a Friday, shared content. And on next week naman, Wednesday, for example, is a survey. And then the next one, video. Parang ganun. So every month, yun yung susundan namin. And we will just add kung kunwari may special announcements, merong greetings, merong parang important to post. For example, parang need i-post from SM Supermalls also that they want SM Cares to post. So we do that. So usually there's a guide para plotted na po siya. So yeah, determining the perfect date and time and then the executions and then we plot. And then Joe, maybe you could continue with the copy creation already on the process.
Yeah, so the best way to do this is we like Miss Tina said, we do it monthly. So for example, today is July 30. Usually by July 15, prepare na yung August plan. Dapat may handa na po talaga kayong objectives. Actually, it's very important throughout the whole year that you have your objectives, ano aim ninyo. And for our aims naman is to get more engagement, more likes, more followings. So that is the objective goal for the entire year. But you have to do these campaigns with objectives in mind, what you want to do per quarter. And of course, in terms of monthly content plans, isipin niyo po that you have to leave allowances for announcements or other things that you might have missed out on. Sabihin natin nakaplano na yung August plan niyo for ng July 15, nandun na lahat. You have all the copies ready, you have all the content ready, but you have to leave allowances. Kasi may mga sudden, like, may mga governmental interference. What if magkaroon tayo ng ECQ lockdown and you want to take an announcement na sasabihin natin na sarado pa yung museum? So you always have to keep in mind that while your content plan is ready, you have to leave allowances for things that might suddenly get in between them. So yun siya. And in terms of copy content, you have to find out kung ano yung relevant for that month. Kung ano yung mangyayari. So what we like to do is before we make a content plan, titignan po namin yan, yung mga national holidays, ano yung mga relevant days. For example, it's World Resources Day. So we have to World Resource Day in the next month. So we have to tailor our content around that theme for the post that we're supposed to make. So you have to keep in mind of these things when you're going through your content plan. Kung ano po yung mga mangyayari or yung mga relevant events that are happening, and you have to keep in mind and make content for that. So yun po yung advice po namin for this question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Joe. So that's a learning insight for us because in Mosaic Cordillera, we post when the staff is already done with the full day work, and then we post
Yeah.
5 after 6. So the best time to post, which is also related to Maria Gemma San Jose's question, is at 7 a.m. p.m. Tama ba? Parang
Yes.
ito yung question. What
Generally,
are the best time to post aside from 7 p.m. as mentioned earlier? And what days are productive, so to speak, when posting?
okay. Generally, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, generally, across all industries, it's 7 p.m. onwards. And also in the morning. Kasi as mentioned by Joe earlier, that's around 7 also in the morning. Because pagising mo sa umaga, yun yung una mong gagawin, mag-scroll eh. So yon. And then also right after work, scroll ka ulit. So those are the best times. But there are also, we can also do research kung ano yung best time for museum goers.
Yes.
So, yeah, we have to check kung ano yung demographics po nila. We can check that via the analytics of Facebook. Also, dun sa website ninyo, we can also know the market kung who are they. So, we'll know ano yung lifestyle nila and kung kailan yung screen times nila also.
So does this work also in the same way with the website? Like, I mean, the time and the frequency of changing what's in there and updating. So this also applies for a museum website.
Generally, ma'am, for a website, as frequent as possible, the better yung updated content. Hindi siya kagaya po ng Facebook na may time. Pero we can also check dun sa Google Analytics yung time nila para we can also align kung kailan natin ipopost. But generally, as much as possible, i-update or mag-add ng content on the website.
Okay. All right.
To
Thank you so
piggyback
much.
to the question.
Okay, Joe. Yes, Joe, you have some more things to comment on? Okay.
So for example, you have to figure out kung ano yung best foot traffic ng mga museum goers nyo towards that day. So let's say na they go to your museums ng weekend, so that's Saturday and Sunday. You want to be able to maximize kasi magpa-plan po sila, right?
Yeah.
So sabihin natin Friday is the best time to post kasi Saturday, Sunday sila pupunta. What time is 10 a.m. Kasi doon po yung po agad gagawin nila sa umaga, right? We check our feed. And especially if they're going as a family or mga barkadas po sila, titignan po agad nila yung Facebook nyo. So in that instance, 10 a.m. is the best time to post on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep in mind kung ano yung what time or anong ma-achieve ninyo, and then you base your post around that. So yun po talaga. Ang standard time po namin is either 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. On the busy days like Monday. So if you want to get ahead, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so 10 a.m. each. And if you want to take advantage of that, you have to see kung may mga announcements po kayo, dun nyo po i-best tailor yung post nyo around that. So 10 a.m. And then other stuff, mga content inyo, pwede rin po 2 p.m. So yun po yung general guidelines na mamibigay po namin sa inyo. So that's it for that question.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So we have some more questions here. Maybe I'll start with Randy Nobleza. So hello, Miss Tina and Joe. With content creation and use of music of visuals, any foolproof method on how to avoid being flagged due to copyright claims, especially live video or streaming?
All right. Maybe I'll start off. We can use paid audio via Adobe. Usually, that's the safest route. Kapag paid yung i-embed na music, yun yung safest. However, there are also free, pero make sure na ano lang siya, parang ambient music lang. Kasi if may lyrics, parang dun siya na ka-copyright din of the producer. So there, we can register to free. But make sure lang na ambience siya. Best pa rin to purchase background music.
Okay. What about Joe?
So
Okay.
for what we would like to do with our content, usually our designers or our team or creative team would really look for free or public used music so we can implement it on our videos as much as possible because there's no way to get around the copyright claims, especially if the music piece is owned. So you have to really find free for public use of music, or like what Miss Tina said, yung mga paid na. So that's really how we answer this question. Yun lang po yung magagawa po ninyo in regards to that question. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the case of Museo Cordillera, we produce our music.
Yeah, that's
Yung mga
also best.
Oh,
traditional
you can do
stuff.
that. Yeah.
You can do that, of course.
So
Yeah, we
great.
record from the field, and of course, we have some artisans, some local musicians who can actually do some gong playing for us. So, yun, sariling sikap, kumbaga. All
Tama.
right. Thank you. So we have a question here from the chat box from Nayong Filipino Foundation. Okay, so quite a long question. So, hello, I'm from Nayong Filipino Foundation, si Princess May Hernandez. So, let me just read the whole question. Hello, I'm from Nayong Filipino Foundation. Museum workers rely on FB, Instagram, and other social media platforms today. We know, however, that narratives are subjective, hence sometimes contested and controversial. How do we address the various discourses on the historical knowledge we cater in the online museum page? Do you have experiences in the past wherein the version of history or information you posted was challenged by someone who has his or her own version of information or history? How do we address the issues on biases and subjectivity of historical memories of
Medyo
museum?
loaded yung question.
Okay. Sige.
So maybe let me just rephrase the question. So you go to this digital social media platforms, and then these are contested by your visitors or your audience.
Yeah.
How do you deal with this?
Okay. First, we haven't experienced. I think there was a question because yung kay SM Care is mostly advocacy siya eh. Like, advocacy yung pinopromote namin. History is a bit controversial and challenging. But what we can do and what we usually do kay SM Cares, we put the source. Also, in terms of copy, we try to be as safe as possible. As mentioned by Joe kanina sa do's and don'ts, we don't use superlatives. We also try to be as authentic as possible by sharing what is generic to all. Parang ganun. Para safe side kami usually. Because we, admittedly, there are a lot na who can be very critical or maybe criticizing of the content. Tapos ipopost nila. Tapos could affect or could be read by others. So yan, we put the source usually kung saan namin nakuha yung info also. Aside from being safe. Joe?
Yeah, so in terms of content, when it comes to addressing these, you can do an infographic style of content. What we do usually is that I think we just had a recent content execution wherein we would may infographic style po kami na nakasabi na the Philippines is the third world global polluter in terms of plastic. When you want to get that message across as an infographic, you have, like Miss Tina said, it's very important. You have to put the source. So, in terms of addressing this question, you can do an infographic style na ito po yung nangyari, but you have to put the source into that. And as much as possible, you want to put it out in a way that's audience friendly. You want to cater to your base in a non-aggressive way, and you have to have your own style of communicating that message to them. So whether it's If you want to do an AMA or parang ask me anything or an infographic style of executions, then so be it. But it's best to be audience friendly. You number one to think about, and you have to be able to diversify your message in a way that's like number one, talagang audience friendly. That's number one you have to think about when it comes to this question. So yun lang po yung advice na masasabi po namin in regards to this.
Thank you, Joe. With the case of Mr. Cordillera, we do research carefully first before we post that in our social media platforms. Although we have included a section in our website to engage our audience. So if they have knowledge on the information description of, for instance, a particular artifact or a particular practice, no, we encourage them to do, they comment, no, online. This is a way of doing digital co-curation with our visitors and the communities that are involved, no, as part of that culture making, no, that we view culture as not static. So, and museums don't hold the final say, no, with a particular event or practice or artifact. No, we only hold information from the knowledge we gathered from, let's say, research or field work or interviews with cultural bearers. No, so it's just one of the many explanations for a particular practice. All the other answers or the insights would come from your audience. Okay? Thank you for answering that. So medyo masalimuot yun, no? Okay, so let's hear from another anonymous attendee. So this is a question about data analytics, no? So how do you, please share how to use or maximize the data analytics.
All right. Okay. There's a particular group in the office that handles analytics. So we usually get the report from these experts. On the analytics of Facebook, it includes the engagement, reach, there's the churn rate, the likes, average engagement rate, and all. So these ones, as a strategies, we are able to use to check which ones or which content are effective. For example, say content for Monday, um, nakikita namin yung likes niya as compared to content nung Wednesday. So, kunwari si content nung Monday is a video, tas nung Wednesday is a static. If higher si video, that means mas engaging or mas welcome si video. So, on the next run, mas madami kaming video na gagawin because it got a higher engagement. So, usually ganun po. We apply on the content plan depending on the results of the Google Analytics or the Facebook Analytics na numbers.
Okay, Joe, do you have some insights on that?
In terms of that, you can really just look into your data kung ano yung pinaka-engaged post nyo. Like I said kanina, we had this video that went viral with one of our teammates, si Sir Mike, na nagbabike lang po siya. And yun po yung marami namin engagement sa content plan. So, based on that, we can study or we can look at and see na, okay, maybe more relatable videos, like ganon, na nakikita po na anyone can do, na nagbabike po si Sir Mike, that we can double down on those posts. So when we did that, we capitalized on that information, yung metric na marami po nag-engage, and we used more content like that to put out kasi they really respond to that. So that's the best way to really convert yung data that you get into actual brand value that you have for your museum or other social media platforms. So that's one of the best ways, you know, if you're not going into the SEO keywords, analytical world examples that you can do for yourself, where you look at your own metrics, you look at your data, yung engagements inyo, and see kung which posts are doing well, then you can replicate that success by doing a similar post, but not too similar. So yun po yung advice po namin dyan. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joe and Tina. Yeah, I noted here how to make this data analytics meaningful. No, for the university setting, like in the Messiah Cordillera, we use this data to show that we are effective in reaching our audience, and they are engaged, no, with the content of the website or the Facebook post, whatever, no. So this one is very useful for, let's say, how do we convert it, how do we make that meaningful. For instance, if you would request for funding to support your website, ganyan, or support your project, so if you are most visited, then that translates to many things, no, in HEIs, no. Well, I'm talking for Museo Cordillera, no. So that would be a way of, justifying your existence as a museum, and as well as seeking out funding, no, from other institutions or in the university or outside of the university to support your museum, no, in your projects. So ganun yung meaning sa amin nung data analytics. More visits, much better. And engagement also. If they go
Yeah.
visiting, they interact with the whatever apps you have in your website. Okay. So we have a question here from Karen Nina Carrera. What are the advantage of Facebook Business Suite, or what are your thoughts about it?
Joe, maybe our content manager will be the one answering that.
So I think it's a very good way of organizing our content. That's the number one keyword right there, organizing. Is because I use Facebook Suite personally to schedule yung mga posts po namin, to really just see a preview of the posts. Kasi when you're posting content, you don't want to do it manually. Kasi baka miss yung perfect time slot for that. Kasi nag-upload pa yung images, yung video file. And usually when you post manually, no, sa Facebook page nyo, click nyo po upload a video, and it takes a hassle. Mas maganda na lang siguro if you plan or you schedule your post. Like for example, may post po kami ng Monday 2 p.m. I want to be able to get that out of the way na Friday na schedule ko na siya para wala na makakalimutan, right? So it's a very good thing to use Facebook Suite. If
Yeah.
you have the resources to do so, but then you schedule ka agad. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. But if wala talaga kayong choice, yung creative team niyo is they're gonna send it to you ng Monday 10 a.m. Then try
Manual.
to, yeah, manual. So manual talaga. But if you have time, kasi usually when you use Facebook Suite, when you schedule posts, it's 30 minutes before the allotted time. So if you want to schedule, and I recommend scheduling, you do that. You use Facebook Suite. So it's a very good way to utilize the skills, to utilize the tools that Facebook gives you for free. So if you have your KV images, video on ready na, then just use that na lang. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tina and Joe. So we don't have questions now. Would you like to say some more words to our participants here right now? Or have you seen our museum website?
Yeah, we've seen it. Miss Evert and Sir Ramil shared it with us. So we've seen it, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, in general, well, first, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing us to share what we know. I'm speaking on behalf of Joe also. For all the museum owners and officers here, maybe would like to share that social media is a good platform for you, as well as website, of course, since it's your own platform, for you to promote the museums in a less parang cost efficient way. Parang mas mura pa rin siya, like than doing, for example, print ads or radio or TV. It's easier also, and also most of the people are in social media now, so kung saan man yung tao, we should also be there. We should be present, and we should be able to give them what they need. As mentioned earlier, we do not only share with family and friends now, since it's the pandemic, we're all at home. We can not only share about maybe the artworks in the museum, but share more about the museum that other people don't know, like maybe trivias and all. In this way, maybe will encourage more to support art and visit maybe not physical museums yet, but maybe virtual ones as of the moment. So I guess that's it. If you have other questions, you can also email at solutions@gmanmi.com. Joe, your words.
Yeah, like Miss Tina said talaga, thank you for having us, especially this morning. We're really delighted to be able to convey our experiences as well as our knowledge in regards to this digital transformation topic. Like Miss Tina said talaga, Facebook is really the best way to get your word out, especially these days. But we've looked at your website and it's very minimalistic, it's very great. Like Miss Evert would like to say all the time, your website page just really is your face to the world, to the online world. So this is very well done. I think yung designer po namin, Sir Ramirez, was very impressed. And it's the best way to really make a website is to make it as clean, straight to the point as possible. And like Miss Tina's, like what Tina said, it's very important really uh, to remind your audience to really just promote your website sa social media para makita nila kung ano pa yung pinapakita ninyo. It's best to integrate the two, cross-platform integrate, para lang makita rin nila. Kasi ito po yung pang-close nyo, yung website po ninyo eh. So, in regards to the lesson that we've shared, hopefully naman that you got some insights really to handle your content and fuse them together for your greatest brand value. So that's pretty much it on my end. Thank you for having me to speak. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Anna.
Christina and Joe, for that very practical insights, no, on how we can help our participants, especially those really starting up their museums, no, in different parts of the Philippines, no,
Yeah.
your time. Meantime, I would like to show our website. This was launched yesterday. Oh, last Wednesday. So now we actually have. I was just echoing what Joe said about data analytics. No, so far today, for the past 2 days, we already have 7,532 visits for the past 2 days. My question: would you suggest that we post this or include this in our website? Yung mga visit, will that help?
Sorry. The counter, ma'am.
Those how do you call this, metric measures like visitors coming to the website. We did not include this in our website, but for the past 2 days we got 17,532 visits for the 2 days. Would you
Yeah.
advise or we just put them into like hide? No, it's only the admin who can actually see that.
Right now, it could be seen.
Okay. Yeah.
It could
Okay.
be seen. If well, for me personally, it's okay to show the count. Um, yeah, maybe it would also encourage people to visit the site as well. But maybe we can do cross promote. Sa Facebook po ninyo, we can show that there are 17,000 viewers of the website. So it will attract people more. Kasi if on the website siya nakalagay, meaning alam niya na yung website eh. Parang we don't need to impress them anymore. Unlike yung nasa labas pa, we will be able to invite them in another way na parang, okay kami, 17,000 viewers. So you might as well check us. Para hindi ka, remember earlier, there's fear of missing out for other people. So para hindi ka ma-FOMO, yeah, check the page, parang ganon.
So that's really yeah, you're right. No, the website is the face of the museum. and of the university, no? So for Mr. Cordillera, we try to keep humble naman dito sa paggawa, but we also encourage our participants and other people out there that this could be seen as a model, but in fact, the content creation is very tedious in terms different kind of curation also doing online versus the physical layout, no, in the actual museum.
Right.
Much. We just want to invite our participants to view again, no, mag-increase na yung visit site, sorry. But to view our website, we have a 3D tour of our current exhibition there. So you can actually view this. And it's very easy to navigate, no? Very, like what Joe said, it's very minimalist, cleanly designed and user-friendly interactive media for our museum. Okay, so if there are no more comments, it's already 11:40. We thank Chris and Joe and of course Evert for their time, for sharing their knowledge on digitally strategizing or invoking this social media platform to increase the presence of your museum. Okay, thank you, and we enjoin you to visit our website. It's already there. So this webinar series will be part of our education. So you have there the MK Ched webinars. So we will include this video and webinar on digital transformation for museums. So you can actually listen to this, and all of the webinars from level 1 and level 2 are archived here, so you can actually re-listen or review again what we have discussed for the previous webinars. Okay, thank you so much, and have a good day. Keep safe and dry for the rest of the season. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Congrats on your website.
Thank you. Stay safe, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.